Hi. Today, this morning, someone asked me for how long time I'm in Peru. And like the last month, the last year, I said, around 7 years. And I noticed, wow, it's almost 8 years. And I love the number eight. I love the number eight. And with the number eight, I have like many, many different connections. I'm learning a lot with the number eight. Just the way how the eight shows up and how the shape and form from the eight is. I received many teachings, and it showed up in different occasions in my life, and it made me go inwards and reflecting, like, wow, in January it's 8 years, and 8 years that I'm mainly living in Peru. And actually 8 years ago I was in a very magical situation, also guided to, where already I got prepared to go to Peru without knowing really why. And I felt like sometimes people asking me the questions, how did it come that you ended up in Peru? And today I feel like sharing what happened. So I was in 2013, 14. I took her outside. I took a break, time out. I took a time out, and I went to Thailand. And I will make the Thailand thing short, but in the end, I lived there 1 year, and a lot happened there, which is another chapter of my life. What happened in this year, and how I made my living, and how did it come, and why did I go to Thailand? But now I want to say, in the end of this year, what was a very magical, transformative year, living in a hut without electricity, without tap water mainly, and meeting myself in a very deep way I never met before. I received these, in a meditation, I received like the words, you will work in the Peruvian jungle with ayahuasca. And I saw the ayahuasca wine in the jungle. I never drank ayahuasca before at that time. And I also didn't really, here in this reality, didn't know what it means to work with ayahuasca. And I never had before, and I never had afterwards, this type of meditation experience. And I was like, whoa, okay. And I did some theta healing courses at that time, and I had a little bit my own practice. And I went really to the depths of my heart, really, really deep in my heart. And I said, okay, if this is true, that I will go to the Peruvian jungle and work with ayahuasca, show me, because my money is almost gone. I think I have to go back to Germany. And I felt like only thinking about integrating in the system. I liked my job before. I worked in therapeutic homes with teenagers, etc. in that time. I liked it. But the system and the energies and the structures, it was like, oh, no, I don't want to go back there. And also I had very unhealthy patterns in the end in Germany, where I also felt like I don't want to go back in this environment. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. It was not feeling for expansion. It was feeling like contraction. And I said, from the depth of my heart, I said, if this is true, that I will go to the Peruvian jungle, show me a way. I will be very open and listening and watching and doing everything what I can to be open to see guidance. But I need some money. I need to make some money. And my wish is to make money somewhere in nature. And if I have this money, I will take the money and I will go to the Peruvian jungle and see what happens. And this was in 2014. More or less mid-2014, I think. And still I didn't know why ayahuasca, why the Peruvian jungle. And why I'm sharing that also is because there are people, they choose to drink ayahuasca, they choose to go to Peru, and they have like mentally a very clear intention. They have a very clear framed intention and thought. I didn't. Also for the astrology nerds, my sun is Scorpio, my moon is Cancer, and my ascendant is Pisces. So for some of you who know, maybe it makes sense also. And from the human design, I'm a generator, and also it says like my guidance is really in the stomach, in the belly, and that's where my strength is. Like the first minute, what comes here, I feel, and that gives me the guidance and the direction. Just a little explanation. We are all different, but what I want to point to when I went today back, like, wow, 8 years, I'm almost here. How did it come that I came to Peru? It was this feeling through this meditation, and I sent out this, okay, show me the way, when I was sitting on this rock in Kopangan, where I lived for this year. And a few days later, I met a woman on the beach, and she offered me a job somewhere in nature where I could go. The visa would allow me to go there for 3 months. And she explained me more or less how much money I could do. I have to live in a tent. It's a lot of work, but it's nature, and I could make a good amount of money in this short time. And I was like, wow. And I could feel it, that like the vibration in my body. Okay, this will be the money. I will do that. And this money I will take, and I will go afterwards to Peru in the jungle. And it was not that easy how I talk here. There were my mind like, oh my God, what are you doing? Is it really right? But my body feeling, my heart, and something very, very deep just knew that's what I do. And so yeah, like 8 years ago, I was in this place and working a lot and knowing I take this money and I go to the Peruvian jungle. And also in that time, interestingly, I met two people. And these two people, they told me about a place in Iquitos, like the Temple of the Way of Light, where I'm also today, 8 years later. I'm still working sometimes as a facilitator, and I do like integration coaching there for people, or also preparation coaching if someone booked sessions before. I really appreciate this place. And maybe now you see even more why I feel so connected to this place. Because universe, like 8 years ago, two people passed my way, and both of them spoke about the Temple of the Way of Light in Iquitos. And I was like, interesting. I checked the website, and in that time, I could apply for a voluntary job for 3 months. I also had to pay, but I paid like a amount that was possible for me, also with this work I had there. And then I went there in January 2015 for 3 months. And I met ayahuasca, and I met the Shibibo tradition and the Shibibo healers. And also there I was thinking about what was my intention? Why did I choose to drink that? And I didn't have this clear thought and intention here. It was a feeling, I want to do that. And the feeling was like getting so excited and so strong, and it was so deep, and it was so clear, yes, I'm doing that. And people were asking me, you commit for 3 months and you never drank before? And I said, yes. And I mean, I knew also I want to find my place in life. I want to connect to something deeper in me. And I had in 2008, I was traveling in Central America. I also had a boyfriend who was in Mexico, and then I started to travel from there. We separated then. We were on different paths, but thanks to him, I came to Mexico. He was and is a very, very lovely man. And I started to travel in 2008. And I was with my backpack, and at some point I was for many months with my backpack. And there was a time then I was traveling by myself. Also sometimes I met some friends, but there I was by myself, and I was in Guatemala on the Lago de Atitlan. And I remember it was, I think, I don't know if it was the first time, maybe not, but it was like a big opening consciously. And it was not with any substances, not with any plants. And I was reading at that time like books like, what was the name, like from Donald Walsh, this, I don't remember right now, but also there were things happening. I had the book one, And I was like, wow, I was fully into it in that time in 2008. And then the book one was getting less and less. I came to the end and the end and the end, and I was already sad. I was like, oh no, the book is almost, I finished the book. And I would love to have the part two. And it was in German. And also in that time, I had to read a German book. My English was not that good, not enough for a book. And then I finished this book and I brought it in a bookshop where you could put a book and you could take another book out. And there was the part two in German. You know, in this small village in the Lager Diatetlan, and this small shelf, very small shelf with some German books. I could put the Donald Walsh one in it and I could get the part two out of it. So there were these magical things happening in 2008. And I remember how my heart or my soul or my being opened and I could receive presence and God and the light and the connectiveness in such a huge way that it was so liberating. And I knew in that time in 2008, I'm here to do something very different than I'm doing. It's great to work in therapeutic fields. It's great to work in social fields. Yes, all great. I'm partying a lot in Germany. I have great friends. No reason to complain. But I knew, also not here, but in my body, I knew there's something else. So when in 2015 in January, when I had through this magical guidance, the money, and I went to Peru in the jungle and I started to drink ayahuasca, like one of the feelings inside of me were like what I received also like 7 years before in 2008. There is something else. It's not just running in the machine and working and then you have free time and you make a lot of party to relax and to laugh and to feel good. And then you go in the machine working again. I knew I don't want that type of life. I knew there's something else. So this was something inside of me where I asked also the plant medicine, like, hey, what to do in life? Who am I and how to live? Show me, you know, something like that. But I was very, very open. I didn't had this very clear that. It was more this feeling, you know, and I was probably less aware than I'm now when I'm looking back. It was more like, show me what to do, you know, show me what is important, how to live life, how can I be more happy, you know? And yeah, this is, I think, what I wanted to share, that sometimes there's a very deep feeling in us, and I want to encourage you to listen to that, And even if it seems like, how could I go to Peru? I have not enough money. What was for me the case? I had a few €100 left on my account. And I was thinking about, okay, I need this for the plane ticket to go back and look for a job. But if we really listen very deeply and we connect very deeply here and very, whoever you pray to the universe, to the sky, to the earth, I don't know, you know. For me, it was like I went really up to the highest light. And he said, show me the way. And I connected the deepest point in my heart with the highest light. Show me the way. If this is true, that I should go to Peru, working with ayahuasca, no clue in that time what it means. Show me the way. And be open. Be open. And there are tests. And very often in our tests, the fear is involved. And all the conditioning from people we love also outside. How you do that? And, you know, and you need money and you need safety. Yeah. But to learn to feel safe in your heart and to feel safe with your guidance, this opens a lot of new doors. And this can open a path for who you really are when you let go of the structures around and you find a place where you really can connect here. Thank you for listening.